So they're finally here. I finally got my hands on these Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s, and these are the headliner versions. I've been waiting like for a while for these because I've owned the Gen 1s for over 2 years now, and I actually got 2 pairs of the Gen 1s in the headliner and the Wayfarer. In all my videos, I've said that they're my favorite tech product, and I think they're completely worth it. I did start to notice that a lot of the issues I had get bigger and bigger when it comes to battery life. 4 hours just wasn't really cutting it anymore, and I got tired of having to recharge it in the case and wait just to put the glasses back on. The AI assistant is great when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's another story. There's so many times where I try to use the live AI feature. It just cuts me off and says, oh, to start live AI, make sure you turn on live AI. And it would just be this repetitive cycle that I just got tired of and never really used live AI because of that. So I'm hoping with this next generation, the battery issues will be fixed and the AI issues will be fixed. Going in, I already know that you can't really shoot in landscape with these either. So that's another thing that I think we just have to live with for now. You're now gonna be able to shoot in 3K instead of 1080p, which should look a lot more detailed, but I'll have to see when I put it to the test. Also, you get things like audio improvement. So these should sound better, get louder, have more bass. Again, these are things that I'm just gonna have to test out for myself. And looking at the prices, these are only $80 more than the Gen 1s. So is $80 really worth it, or should you just go with the Gen 1s? So as I'm sitting here editing the footage, I'm noticing that it looks exactly the same when I'm comparing the Gen 1 to Gen 2. So I was trying to figure out what's going on. And if you go on the Meta AI app, you'll see that so it looks like it defaults to just that full HD at 30 frames per second. So you have to actually change it to 3K if you want to get that higher resolution. But another cool thing is that you can actually change it to 1080p at 60 frames per second. So if you're doing any action or anything that you'd want to slow it down and get like a slow-mo looking shot, you can actually do that with the 60 frames, which is cool. For 3K at 30 frames per second, you can only shoot up to 3 minutes, but if you go ahead and change it to 1080p, you do have the option to shoot for 5 minutes. Just make sure you go ahead and change that in the video settings in the Meta AI app, because yeah, it's gonna look exactly the same if you don't. So I do have the transitions, and this is the amethyst. It's like a purplish whatever, but just in case anybody wanted to see what it looked like. So just so we're clear, here are some of the newest features and upgrades on these Gen 2 Ray-Ban Metas as they compare to the previous Gen 1 models. You're gonna get 3K for video shooting as opposed to 1080p. You get 8 hours of battery life compared to 4 hours, and the case gives you an additional 48 hours of charge compared to 36. So a huge improvement in battery life as you're getting double the battery life, which I really hope it actually sticks to that 8-hour promise, but we'll just have to see as time goes. And I think the first thing I noticed with these on compared to when I first got my Gen 1 is that everything is just more streamlined. All the improvements that happened from Gen 1 are already on Gen 2. So that includes the software updates. This thing feels a lot faster and a lot more responsive. The AI is more personable. The responses are more detailed and not just straight to the point as the Gen 1s were, which sometimes I kind of just want it to be straight to the point, but I don't know, that's just kind of showing the improvements in the AI. I still want to test the live AI feature, which on the Gen 1 glasses were just giving me such big trouble, like they never worked. So let's try it right now. Hey Meta, start live AI. Okay, so right now I'm in live AI, right?
Yes, you're currently in a live AI session, and I'm here to help with any questions or topics you'd like to discuss.
Okay, so already that's an improvement to me because live AI just never worked on Gen 1, and the first time I tried it on Gen 2, it's working. So hopefully it stays like this, but like I said, everything we're just gonna have to test with time because, you know, time kind of reveals all, and I'll let you know in an additional video. So when it comes to design, these are the headliner versions, and personally, I think they look better than the Wayfarer, but when it comes to functionality as well, I think these are a lot better than the Wayfarer. I haven't tried the Wayfarer Gen 2, but the first ones were just a little too heavy, especially on the front end, and it would kind of slip and fall off of my nose. These don't do that at all. I don't know if it's just the way these are shaped, but this just feels a lot more secure, and I can potentially see myself doing more active things with these on as compared to the Wayfarer. But if anybody has the Gen 2 Wayfarer, let me know how they fit. Personally, it's just not a good fit for me, and I don't think I would go that route again. But, you know, I'm open to see if other people have better experience with it. Hey Meta, what's the battery at?
Battery 42%.
Honestly, I'm actually a little bit impressed with the battery, especially when I came from the Gen 1s, which lasted maybe 4 hours. I don't even think I ever got fully 4 hours with those things. But I think I'm gonna have to definitely continue to test it, especially day to day. 42% after what, 7 hours? I think that's kind of impressive. I've been using it, recording videos, using the Meta AI, using live AI. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to use these, but if you guys have any questions about the Gen 2 Ray-Ban Metas, let them be known in the comments below, especially when you compare it to the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 1. If you think it's worth it. I think for the $80 difference, I think it's worth it. That's not really that big of a jump in price when you consider double the battery life and better and more detailed video quality. Again, it's only been 1 day. I'm gonna continue to use it and monitor the battery life and any of the other aspects. I think the biggest takeaway I've gotten from today is that it's a lot snappier and quicker to respond, and it doesn't really interrupt me like the first generation would do. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys still have questions, so leave them in the comments below. And in the next video I'll try my best to answer all of them so you guys can better figure out if you should just go get that Gen 1. Maybe you found it used somewhere for a really good deal, or just go with that Gen 2. But yeah, see you guys in the next video.